Hi, welcome to PowerTalks, a podcast designed for technology, trends, and insights.
Quality assurance is evolving fast. With today's complex system and AI-driven products, traditional testing alone isn't enough. AI is now transforming QA itself, from predictive defect detection to self-healing systems. In this podcast, we explore how QA and AI intersect to shape the future of software delivery.
Hi, welcome to our new podcast series where we discuss AI in QA. This is our first episode where we'll be talking about the changing landscape of QA with AI. Joining us is Shrish Ashtaputre. He is the head of QA and DevOps at Calsoft. With 25 years of experience in IT engineering, Shrish has led QA transformation for global enterprises, bridging businesses and technologies. At Calsoft, he drives AI-powered testing and DevOps strategies, helping teams deliver smarter, faster, and more reliable softwares. Hi Shrish, thank you for joining us today.
Hey Richa, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So Shrish, before we jump on to the topic, can we establish that how QA has evolved over the last decade, especially with DevOps and Agile?
Right. So traditionally QA has always been towards the tail end of the software delivery life cycle when we talk about these conventional waterfall models. But since the inception of DevOps, QA has been the integral part of software development, and with this shift left approach, the QA in fact begins much early in the software development life cycle. So it is no more a reactive kind of a thing, but it is more like a proactive service.
And if I talk about the traditional QA team, what challenges do they face in their product life cycle?
Right. So if you look at the current landscape of software development and deliveries, the speed matters a lot. So traditionally QA has been, as I said, towards the tail end of the software development life cycle, a little slow in basically doing things, and also mostly reactive. The change that is needed now is basically QA needs to be proactive. They need to cope up with the speed of software delivery because it is continuous integration, continuous delivery pipelines, and also they need to be scalable. So with the support of different operating system devices, platforms, variety of different use cases that they need to validate, the QA has to be scalable. So that's the differences that we see a lot with the QA.
And where does AI comes into picture?
So AI comes in multiple ways in QA. Of course, there is a lot of talk around optimizing the overall SDLC using AI, but typically be it a test generation or doing the defect triaging, doing the self-healing kind of an automation. So a bunch of use cases are there where AI comes into play in QA.
And how is this AI applied to the QA?
So again, in multiple ways. So I can give you a couple of examples. So for example, in Calsoft, we have built a tool named Caltia, which essentially helps optimize the overall test cycles. So it looks at the code change and makes you recommendations about the which test cases to run as part of your regression test cycle. So that's one use case which is prominently used in QA, which uses AI. But other than that, there is a lot of use cases around self-healing automation, where if things are changing rapidly, your automation needs to basically fix itself rather than depending on the automation engineers to basically go and make code changes to address the change. So that's where another use case is very prominent in software, especially in QA industry, the self-healing automation.
So as you mentioned, if an organization is aiming for scaling, so is this shift becomes critical?
Absolutely critical, because as I said, the speed matters the most now. The customers are very demanding. So whatever you want to release, you need to release it with the speed. At the same time, the quality quotient must be high. So therefore, the QA teams have to do the balancing act between these two. And so the use of AI or use of advanced or intelligent testing approaches is very, very necessary.
So if we have gathered some questions from our audience,
okay,
and I would like you, if you can answer them.
Sure.
So the first question is, what is the most common myth about AI in QA?
Okay. So I think the most common myth about AI in QA is AI can be a plug and play in QA. It doesn't, because the AI can be as good as your data is. And of course, any AI system takes some time to basically mature and be productive. So that's number one myth in the industry, that you get some tool, you bring in some tool, you just plug into your QA cycle, QA life cycle, and it starts giving you the outcome. It doesn't work like that.
So the next question, and I think most of our audience is looking an answer for this: will AI completely replace manual testers?
I don't think so, because although AI is definitely making a big difference in overall software testing or even software development, but the need for domain and contextual understanding is going to be very, very key when it comes to basically produce the best outcomes using AI based tools. And that's where the manual QAs, or I would rather call them as domain SMEs, play a vital role in helping AI tools to give that context or give the domain specific information, so that they can fine tune their models more appropriately, which will yield better results.
So the last question of this episode is: what are the top 3 skills a QA engineers must develop to stay relevant?
That's a great question. So, in my opinion, looking at the current landscape, the number one skill would be the data engineering or some understanding of data. The second is basically systems understanding. So, understanding your application from its architecture to the end user scenarios or use cases. That's system understanding. And the third is basically automation. So, without these three things, I think it will be very difficult to survive in the industry now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for watching this episode till the very end. If you have any questions and queries, please feel free to write to us at marketing@calsoftinc.com. If you have missed any episode from the series, you can find the details in the description. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next time.